We can use Discord to talk, but we still need the screen share to work. We'll try one more time and see what happens. Some people are uncomfortable using TeamViewer, so I stopped.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Skype. It
Yeah,
keeps crashing.
I never know either. Alright, let's just see how it goes. Okay, so same question.
Where did it cut me out last time?
I didn't hear any of it.
I didn't hear any of it.
Nope.
I said Cassio's a mobile. Caitlyn's going to be bullying Kog'Maw pretty hard, but at least he has Soraka. And I have no idea how the new Donger fares against the Fiora.
Okay. So when you see a Soraka or a Janna, generally you don't really want to come to that lane at all unless they're getting dove, or they're so
Hmm.
far pushed up that you can basically just it, carry the gank by yourself because they don't have any setup for you. Um,
Yeah.
in some cases where they have like a Varus or a Ashe, they hit level 6 and it's a little more feasible, but generally you want to stay away from these lanes. It's very hard to kill, and just because they don't have any setup for you, and especially against a lane like this that has a bunch of disengage.
All
Um,
right.
could be worse. It could be like Lucian Janna, or Lucian Nami instead of Kate Nami, but still, it's a pretty difficult lane. You don't really want to go there unless you get really ahead, and you can kind of brute force the gank by yourself without too much help from your lanes. Top is pretty difficult. He's got to land. He's got one hard crowd control. It's a skill shot, and he also has parry and a billion dashes. So once again, not a lane that
Yeah.
you'll really go to unless it's very, very pushed. Mid lane is probably going to be your best bet, but it's still not very easy to set up unless
Diana's
until
6, more
Dan
or
is
less.
6, more or less. Because he does have Flash Ghost, so even him flashing to get the, I believe it's E. Yeah,
Yeah.
E. Will be pretty difficult. This jungle matchup is one where he probably won't invade you more than likely, so you should be okay to farm up early. I'm not really sure if Wukong can Rafter start. I kind of feel like he
No, he
can.
can't.
Okay,
No, he
interesting.
definitely can't. He has an extremely terrible early clear.
Okay.
He's got no sustain
I've seen
and mana
people
issues.
I've seen people do it before, but I think he had a Galio leash him, so that was probably why he started Raptors. So just doing blue buff start here. Gragas is doing blue bot side start as well, pretty standard. Great leash from your bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think attack speed helps. Like cases like that, like where you don't have your E up, it's gonna help your clear a bunch. And you don't really lose that much damage for taking attack speed, honestly.
Yeah.
If you haven't run them yet, I
Well, I've
think you should
checked
look into
like
it.
all the sites and everyone runs flat AD on Wukong jungle.
Mm.
Seems,
I think you should just still test attack speed. Do it in like sandbox a bit, see how much faster your clear is. Because for a long time, people didn't run attack speed on Lee Sin either, but then now almost everyone does. Just kind of advanced the meta game, I guess. Okay.
yeah.
So let's find at the Gromp there. It's fine. Killing
And I
the...
know Heimerdinger stole his blue.
Yeah. Okay. So just farming here, kiting it a bit. That's fine. Top's already getting aggressed on heavily. So walking to red buff. I'm assuming you're going to skill Q here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Hold in once your decoy's out, good. Okay. Okay, he's got a ward out. Don't have, you do have smite. Okay, so you can take this and go into the river.
Yeah,
So
I think I
yeah,
might have spotted Gragas on that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so, because I probably wouldn't have pathed right up into that bush if I saw him.
so you're red. Let's just watch your vision. I don't think you saw him.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him either.
Yeah,
I'm just
based
not
on this.
100% sure.
Yeah, he pings. He's like
Like, I
coming
know
out right now.
Gragas is
Yeah,
top side, because I know he started bot.
yeah.
I know he's probably angry because Heimer took his blue.
Okay, so in this case, because you knew Heimer took his blue, I would hit this and go into the river because he's actually way healthier than I thought he'd be. But without his blue buff, he'll probably either be low on mana or low on health, and he won't really be able to fight you. And you getting the scuttle will heal you up to full if you want to look for a gank. And just in general, it'll help him. It'll help protect Heimer because he's going to be shoving this lane in like pretty permanently now.
Yeah.
Just because he's Heimerdinger.
That's why I figured that he was going to be top side, and then he might be headed towards Heimer because he was pushed up. So I kind of went up there to scout around. I think I drop a ward in this jungle here.
Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, Gragas actually hits the plant here, and you should know that it has to be him who hit the plant because everyone else is accounted for in lanes.
Yeah.
So once you see him hit that plant, you should have an idea of where he is. So let's see if you play around that info. I'm not sure if you spotted it. It's kind of hard to see sometimes. Okay, so he's wrapping the long way around Heimer. Okay, so you have vision now. Okay, so you're moving. That's good. This should work out pretty well. He's out of mana. Gets the stun off on him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
want to follow that up. My E was on cooldown.
Yep, couldn't really kill him. It's good. So, I hit the plant here. Should hit.
No, I actually want to see if I could, like if he was in the bush backing or something.
Okay.
I saw Fiora. I didn't want to go in because she's just gonna W me and I'm gonna die.
Okay, so Gragas has 12 CS. You can basically, his blue is gone, so you can infer that he's 12 CS is normally basically a full jungle clear, except for either the Gromp blue or red. It's missing one of those. So with 12 CS, you know exactly like what path he's done so far. He would be level 4. He'd be level 4 if he started Rafters, but he's level 3, so you know he started Red Buff instead. So based on that info, you don't really need to hit the plant downwards. You can actually hit it into the river and clear out any wards Cassius plays because you know all the camps are down already based on his CS. And you can infer that he's going to be going to golems because that should be the only camp that's up. You don't even need to.
Yeah, that's actually what I was telling my team here.
Yeah.
So I ping right there and I type in chat. He's going to be bot side because his top is clear.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good habit to get into. So yeah, you don't even need to waste time checking his wolves there because you should know everything's down once you see his CS. Okay, so you go get your wraps here. You've got 711 gold. Okay, so you got a multitude of options to buy if you do go back after this. I think you could greed for the golems here. You have a pretty good idea of where Gragas is, and you shouldn't really have anything to gank because they're pushed in. You could go for mid, but that's also getting pushed in, so.
Yeah, I'm level 3 and Cassier's level 5. I'm like...
Yeah, it's safer to just get golems here.
Yeah. He pings the ward out, and I just go for the golems.
Yep. Not really worth going for a gank like that either, just because he has to catch all the minions first before he can really help you.
Yeah.
And the Cassio definitely has enough damage to kill you if you go on her alone. Okay. So definitely go back after this. Oh. Decoying, using all your mana, but it's fine. You're gonna go back after this. Yeah. And right, okay. 1100 gold. So I'd probably buy double longsword boots and a control ward here.
I buy double longsword and Hunter's Potion, I think.
Hunter's Potion, okay.
Yeah. Wukong has like, A, he has no sustain, and B, he has huge mana issues with clearing. Okay. If you don't have blue.
I feel like in this case, it's better to do the boost instead, mainly because your blue buff's coming up in a little more than a minute. And I feel like if you do these two camps and you do the scuttle, your blue buff will be up around then, and you'll be fine as far as mana sustain. Maybe not health sustain. I'm not 100% sure on that. I feel like with the scuttle, you'll be okay.
Yeah, he has no innate health sustain, so it's pretty rough. Like, he has his decoy to block some of it, but you still take a lot of damage in the jungle.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. So yeah, just because, like, in a case like this, your blue buff is, like, coming up, like, pretty soon. And you do have at least one smite charge. I don't feel like you necessarily need the Hunter's Potion, but it's not the worst buy in the world. Okay, so smite your Gromp. What are you looking for here? Okay. Taking the blast point over. So I don't really like this gank for two reasons. One, you're really close to level 5. You'll be 5 off this. So you might as well just get that while it's still up. You're wasting efficiency while it's up here. And bot lane, like I already said earlier, it's a really hard gank. You know, you basically have to do it yourself, and when you don't have your 6 and you don't have red buff, you're basically just running at them.
My thought process was I wanted to bully Kate and Nami back so they weren't harassing Cog so much under the tower when he was trying to last hit.
It's not worth your time. You know, like
Okay.
it's not worth your time just because he has a Soraka and regardless, like he's already like chunked out to the point where like you helping him like with a little bit isn't really going to mean anything, especially because these guys are probably just going to back anyway because they're also not super healthy. And you're losing so much time here because you have a camp up and you have scuttle up to do, and you're already not level 5. Like a general rule of thumb is you'll want to be like level 6 or really close to level 6, um, right around when your first buff respawns. So you're a little bit behind that pace already, which
Yeah,
is why I
I
don't
think
really
I
like this
realize
game.
I'm underleveled at this point. I kind of power farm a few camps.
Okay, it's good. Pop your Hunter's Potion immediately. You have 5 stacks. Is it ticking right now? Nah, it's not ticking. It should be. It should be. Just gotta spam that shit. Okay, yeah. At
I
least you
think
do
I'd
it. Yeah,
pop it right before I
right
get
before.
the refill.
It's best to just pop it immediately though, because you've got so many stacks of it at the current moment. Okay, so I'm assuming you save Smite for this. That's fine. Just cutting it out here. Mid lane just past blue. Once you see him cross back into lane, you'll know Gragas is top side. So potentially you could look for his red, but you're pretty unhealthy, so probably not. Oh, okay, so you're saving your Smite. Okay.
Yeah, this is where the Hunter's Potion comes in. 'Cause you
So
take so much damage.
I would go grab the. So because of the timer of your red buff coming up, you have time to go do the scuttle and grab this health plant before you go up to your top side to clear. And then if you grab both those, you'll be healthy. You'll be much healthier, and then you'll do your rafters, and then your red will be up. Right as of now, if you do the rafters and then walk up, your red won't be spawned yet. And also, you're kind of missing a lot of health. So grabbing these two to refill yourself if you want to stay on the field, which you probably do because you just got blue buff, would be better than just going straight to rafters here. Especially because you know Gragas is top side and he won't find you in the river at your health because he just passed blue over to Cassio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so killing the smalls here. Good. Got your 6. So yeah, you're like one camp behind like optimal isn't the best way, but a good pace. You're like one camp behind because you hit 6 off the next camp after blue. So you're not super behind. Um, you're just a little bit behind like a good pace, which is not too
I
bad.
saw Cassia was almost dead here, so I'm trying to see if I can like catch her under tower or something.
Okay.
And I was about to flash on her, and then like
Yeah.
her W stopped me from flashing.
Yeah. Okay. So Gragas will come in here, decoy. Oh, and he takes. Okay, he blasts
He
himself.
saved my flash for me. Like, thanks, Gragas.
Interesting. Okay, works out. Go into red buff here. Okay, so I actually don't really like this choice. I'm assuming you're just gonna do the red here.
Yeah.
Cause
Stop it halfway.
Oh,
Through.
okay. It's
So
not even.
I thought I had smite up and I didn't.
Oh, it's not even the thing that I think it'll kill you. It's the fact that like basically you have one camp up here. These wolves aren't spawning that soon. You have time to recall, go get golems, and then go get red. And not only will you save efficiency on your red, you'll be able to do this camp too. So you don't have to do anything in your. So you have nothing. You've basically cleared out your top side. You don't. You're not wasting any efficiency of any top side camps.
Yeah.
Because like right now, even if you have smite, you can do this red. You're not healthy enough to do these golems, so you're gonna have to recall, and you're gonna have to go to a side where you only have one camp up. And either way, it's gonna be kind of inefficient. You always want to path in a way where you have multiple options available to you. You know, either clearing the quadrant of your jungle or going to a lane that you have kill pressure to gank in. Whereas like making the decision here, even if you had been able to kill the red buff, is you're very limited in what you can do like out of it. Like you always want to be able to transition into multiple options after. Wow. Okay. This guy's a beast. Okay, so you pick up boots here and Warhammer. Hold on, let me check your gold. I don't really like this buy, but let me see how much you had. Ooh. Okay, so I actually think it would have been better here to wait for like a 25-30 gold to pick up your smite and boots instead of Warhammer, because I'm really not a big fan of Warhammer because compared to double longsword, you're paying 400 gold for 5 AD and 10% CDR. 10% CDR in the early game, really not a big deal, and 5 AD also not that big a deal. Once you're AD,
7.5% CDR on my runes.
okay. Just in general though, like that 5%, it's really not worth the 400, especially in a case like this where like Wukong, like you said yourself, you're getting beat up in the jungle. Having that smite item, it will help your sustain a lot, just because you have the Hunter's Machete part of it too. So on your like autos and your Qs, you're healing a bunch while your decoys tanking and stuff. And also like obviously for when you're fighting, you'll have the smite up too. I just think that's way more worth it than 5 AD and 10% CDR. Like having like red smite or blue smite or whatever smite you do and the extra sustain. I think in overall that's just more worth it. I'm really not a big fan of getting Warhammer on like anyone early. Um, Double longsword boots over Warhammer any day for me. It just gives you more.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense.
So going to do the red buff now. Warding.
I think I was typing to my
Oh,
teammate.
you're typing. Okay.
Auto pathing, and I was typing something.
Okay. Well, let's say that's not the worst word in the worst ward in the world to place. Okay, so cutting it a bit here and then finish it off at the end. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So now you're gonna look for mid here. They're already fighting. Salve your flash. Probably won't even need it. Oh, now you're gonna need it. Yep. Okay. Not a bad gank.
I think she kind of wasted her flat. Cassio was 100% dead.
Yeah. That's fine though. Whenever you secure it, and now you have a great opportunity to get first blood turret here. You have red buff, and he's dead for a long time. You guys are both healthy still. Gragas shows up here. Yeah, probably not diveable, unfortunately. Good rotation by him. So you can look for a top dive here. This guy already has insane lane control, and he's up 2 levels. And you know where Gragas is.
Drop some.
Okay, so you're actually going to run into Gragas here. You can't really kill him, even if that guy had went in. Too close to the turret. Yeah, I would have just gone for the dive here.
Decent spot for my pink.
Where? This? Yeah, this is a fine spot.
Right.
You want it as close to out of the bush as possible, so you make sure you always spot people crossing this way. I think you spot most people here though, so that's fine. The more aggressive one is putting it here. It gets spotted more often, but it does give more information. As a general rule of thumb, as a jungler, the 2 places you always want trinket wards or control wards is this bush and this bush, because these are the 2 central areas that give you the most information. Because if he walks upwards from this ward, then you know what he's doing, right? Exactly what he's doing. He walks to the side, he can only be doing one thing. He walks downwards, he's going to here and then through here. And then for this ward, if he walks this way, then you know he's going to the river. If he walks downwards, he's going to farm. If he walks to the side, he's going to top jungle. So yeah, these are the 2 wards here.
What about the
here.
pink ward in the bush between red buff and golems?
This?
Like if you stack it all the way on the very corner right there, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of this ward just because it's not a ward that will always give you utility. So control wards. Oh shit! I need to get my food. Give me like 2 minutes.
Sure.
Ah, my bad. Thank you. Have a nice day. Ugh. All right, sorry about that.
No,
Okay,
that's all right.
so we're talking about this control word. So the way I view
Mhm.
control words is, if like even if they kill it the first time they see it, it's done its job because all I need it to do is give me vision one time, and then with that vision, it should prevent someone from dying or give me information to take a camp from them. And one camp is worth the control word, and obviously a kill is worth 4 control words because it's 300, not counting like bounties or whatever or
Mhm.
repeated deaths. But like this control word, a lot of people are like, oh, the control word is so good, no one ever finds it. But the thing is, like, it doesn't really give you that much information. It like it'll see people if they walk through from this way, but if they hit the blasting plant, it won't see them. Like it'll see them if they come up from golems, but like most of the time, it's pretty easy to infer when people are going to golems anyway, and you can just predict the route from there because almost no one does golems on the first clear.
Mhm.
And it might see people on the red buff, but it's not even guaranteed to see people doing red buff, like if they come from a different way or dash over or take the blast plant and stuff. So I'm not really a big fan of that pink. It's nice to leave like because like people won't see it that often, but
Yeah.
I value like just having the vision of it. Just like I just value like having if even if it sees people only one time it dies. I think that's way more worth than like having it there and not dying, but potentially not really giving you any info. That's just how I view it. I buy a lot of pink words when I play. And I think that's just in general, that's what like almost every time, almost every game you should be doing. So, that's my take on it. So he's getting ganked top here. You're not really in a position to respond.
Yeah.
So, with the way this game has played out, you don't want to spend too much more time farming because this turret is really low and this turret's really low. You want
Mhm.
to, once your ultimate is up, I don't know if it's up now, I don't think it is. I think that's
Yeah, it's up.
Okay, it's
Pretty
actually
much.
up. Then
Yeah.
you should be immediately setting yourself up in a way to make a play on either of these lanes so you can
Mhm.
break first hurt. And setting yourself up for a play is more than just like making sure you're not spotted or something. It's also making sure you have enough like mana and like health so you can execute the gank properly. It's making sure you have a decent idea of where the enemy jungler is so when you execute the gank you won't get counter gank and stuff. You just want to make sure like how like doing whatever you need, maybe if you need a back for resources or like get a control word on the back or like go into their jungle and put a ward down so you can identify where the enemy jungler is. You also want to make sure you get all that out of the way and so that your gank succeeds so you can get the turret. That should be your goal at this point,
Mhm.
above everything else. Because once you get that first turret opened up, then you can farm like more leisurely because you don't have to worry about in the back of your head like, oh, if this guy ganks bottom right now and he gets first blood turret, then we can't get it. Like once you want to get that out of the way immediately, so like you have more free time to farm really. And just in general, when you have a lane winning as hard as like your Heimer is winning this game, you want to pay a
Mhm.
lot of attention to that lane. And whenever you see a dive opportunity, just take it. Because that's the easiest. Like it's really easy to dive someone,
I'm
especially
always
top
scared
lane.
of diving Fiora because, like, if she like reposts my knock up, then she's just gonna ult and kill me because I'm like really squishy.
I mean, yeah, but you can also outplay it in the same way too. Um,
Yeah.
it's really a 50. Like sometimes you just gotta take those 50s. And if he's as low as like he was in some of these cases, the dive like even with the repost, it's not too big a deal. And also it costs mana too, right? Yeah, 50 mana. And this guy's been getting beat up. There's been a lot of cases where he's been low on a lot of resources. Okay, so going back now, you've got 1100, 1200-ish. So definitely a smite. I think you can just finish it, right? It's like 1225
Yeah,
combined
that's
from
why
here.
I that's
Yeah.
why I stopped backing at wolves and killed Scuttle because I had enough. I
Okay.
needed Scuttle to have enough.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you do blue smite. It's all right. I'm more of a fan of red smite on everyone, but blue smite's okay. It's better than trackers. As long as it's not trackers. Terrible smite solo queue. I will maintain that until the day I die.
You take it on Lee though?
No.
No?
Nope. Not even on Lee. Okay. Okay, so just grabbing blue here, that's fine. I'm a hipster though. I'm the minority in that. No. So bot lane fighting really, really low. You could potentially look for this.
Like, what do you do? Like, I don't want to give Diana my blue. 'Cause I really like having blue Wukong, but at the same time, I don't want to like tilt my mid laner when they've already walked over. And
Just
stuff.
say next. Just say you can have next. That's
Right.
usually what I like backpick them and say next usually. And if like sometimes like usually by that point they won't always be mid lane. Maybe they'll be off like roaming or something, and I'll just like quietly take the next one while they're off on the other side of the map and hope they don't notice.
That's what I do the next one.
If I really want.
Oh,
yeah.
Diana, you're top side. Oh, look, blue. Oh, where to go?
If he's really fed though, or like I feel like he's like playing well, then I'll usually give it to him. But usually I'll take the blue too. If he comes over though, sometimes you just have to. You don't really have a choice.
So, yeah, I'm going.
So bot lane.
I saw Caitlyn flash, so.
Okay. Do
On my way
you
in.
still have your flash? They saw you, I think, but it didn't really matter
Do I
here.
have my flash here? No, I didn't.
Oh, I guess not. I can't tell if the
Yeah,
replays.
I'm pretty sure I don't.
Yeah, at this point, at this point, I don't think you do either.
Yeah, so
You can actually go for him. He's
turn
out of
on
mana.
Bonnie and then
Yeah.
clone back
Okay.
in and
Yeah.
kill.
Well played. Push the wave here. Because Gragas is top. He's been showing top for a while. Just shove that
so
into the
I
turret.
see him top, and I think pretty sure I turn around and go
Yeah.
push the lane.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Because you could have gotten a lot of damage on the turret here because they have decently long death timers at this point. So you can just free hit on the turret. Everyone.
Once I saw Gragas
yeah.
top, I turned around.
Yeah. Everyone is accounted for, so you're good to go. He actually fought off a gank and was about to get first blood turret for you. He's a beast.
You know, Heimerdinger versus Melees is a lot of fun. Just run around in circles in your turrets.
Alright, so you won't be able to get it yet, but good damage on it. Maybe you can get it with Cog here, but you should back up now because Cassiopeia just gave up mid turret. So she's likely not she's likely like looking to make a play on you because there's no way she can make a play on Heimer. So yeah, you can pretty much infer that she's down here. And ooh, yeah, this was really greedy.
Yeah.
Might get bailed out by the TP here, but just in general, you don't want to look for fights like that just because early in the game, mid laners, solo laners are like way stronger than almost everyone, unless someone's super fed just because of all the extra EXP and gold they get from being in a solo lane. So in a fight like this where it's bot lane jungle versus bot lane solo lane mid, unless it's like a really hard scaling mid or like someone in this group of three is really fed, you generally don't want to try to take these fights. They're very, very scary. So Heimer canceled the TP, smart play by him, saved you guys and didn't waste his cooldown. You should really just back here. There's no point in sticking around. You don't really have enough mana to look for anything safely. This is like really greedy without knowing like what summoners they have. Like it works out, but like this is not a play that you generally want to go to.
Flash, I know that for a fact because I saw her use it to escape Cogmaul, but yeah.
The thing is like yeah,
gets wrecked here now.
there's so many missing people, and you don't know if he has like heal. Like you know he doesn't have flash, but like you don't know about exhaust, you don't know about heal. You know, like it's very, 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 very easy for you to get just turned on there, and you have like a decent amount of gold to spend. Like you should just go spend, not risk anything like that. Like you weren't healthy, you didn't have a lot of mana, you didn't have your ultimate, you have a lot of gold. Just like you don't see everyone. Just like everything was like stacked against you to make that play. So try to identify those situations a lot because that's a really easy way to throw a lead. Like just going too aggressive for stuff where you don't have complete knowledge of everyone.
Yeah, I do that a lot on Wukong, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's kind of like he's kind of like a very one-dimensional champ. He does one thing.
Yeah.
And that's like he goes in.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all he does. I mean, he's not like Xin Zhao bad, but
Yeah. Trust me, I know. I was great friends with Alorum, and he always. Everyone, whenever they see Alorum for the longest time, they're just like, oh, the Wukong guy. And he'd be like, Wukong sucks. I don't play Wukong anymore. Okay, so team fight starting here. I believe you have ultimate. Yep, just got enough mana for it. Path onto the trap. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind a bunch here because the fight isn't what's super important here. So you already had a ton of gold before you made that play
Hmm.
that I talked about, and now you have to stay and catch this wave, and you have even more gold now. You still haven't recalled. You still haven't recalled.
No,
And
I
you
think I'm
can't
gonna
really
recall. 'Cause
recall. Like you have to
yeah, I'm
catch all his minions first, right?
yeah. And I had vision of them starting
Yeah.
dragon.
Okay. So right here, like you get put in this situation because it's all like snowballed from you trying to make this play. Your bot lane died, they pushed it in, you had to catch the wave, and because you had to catch the wave, you didn't have time to spend all of your money. You have a shit ton right now.
Yep.
Like almost like a third of your net worth is like not being used right now, which is ridiculous. That's so bad at this point in the game. Like you're gonna and now because they're starting dragon, you're being pulled to fight when you're low on mana. You don't have enough for a full combo to escape. You really only have like E into ult and maybe like Q. I think you'll read in a bit once you walk through here, and you have all this gold
Yeah.
sitting on you. Like
I path through the jungle to
yeah,
get the mana regen.
yeah. This is like a big like thing. Like when you go for plays like that and you have to just play reactively and you get put in these terrible situations like this. Which is why like when you've got like that 1k gold, that 1.1k gold at any point really, you don't really want to look for too many plays if possible at all. And you definitely had the choice to just go back there. Because now it's really gonna hurt you. Imagine if you had like I don't know what you're gonna build next, but imagine if you had like that extra 1600 worth, 1500 worth spent right now, or even just 1100 from before you caught all that. Imagine if you had
Yeah.
spent all that and you've been full HP, full mana in this fight. You know, it probably goes way better than it goes. Because now you have to
Just trying to regen as
yeah
much mana as
you only get
possible
one Q and
before going back
R
in.
and you don't have a decoy to get out here. Regardless, you're dead because you path onto the trap. But
Yeah.
um, you would have had a lot more freedom to play the fight out like how you wanted to had you gone back and just had more resources.
I just wanted
So
to kill Gragas, so like they abandoned
yeah.
dragon.
So this
To
fight
be honest.
looks okay. They can still do it with Cassio, but they'll probably pull off now. Now that Gragas is dead, so good identification of killing the jungler at least. Salvaging, not a great situation. Okay, so you're going to a Cleaver? Okay, I think that's completely fine. Um, haven't upgraded boots yet. Both Tabis and Treads are acceptable in this game. I'd probably go Tabi and then get like a Maw or something. Or really any MR item, just because Treads isn't really enough for Cassiopeia usually, and they've got
Hmm.
2 AP, so you definitely need an MR item. And Tabi is just so good versus Caitlyn because of the headshots, and also Fiora, just because she has the auto attack reset and just auto so much in general. So Tabi probably the best buy this game, and then just an MR item after Cleaver.
Do you care about spoilers? I can tell you what I went.
Nah, I'll just see how it goes.
Alright.
Okay. So you got 2 control words, that's good. You changed to Sweeper, nice. Grabbing golems here because there's not much else to do on the map right now. Dragon is up, but your team is pressuring it to a point where they can't really do anything about it, so that's fine. Just clearing out your top side here, not a bad time to make sure you're using your pots.
So as a jungler, do you want to stay like, what's the minimum level you want to be? Like a level behind the solo laners, 2 levels, or equal level?
Equal or a level behind, any more than that is bad.
Okay.
I generally just compare myself to the enemy jungler though. I always want to be a level up on the enemy jungler, but yeah, it's probably more difficult on a champion like Wukong who doesn't farm like well, so
Yeah.
to speak. So yeah, when like obviously I'm sure you see me like per graves and stuff. I get like 2, 3 level leads like pretty consistently, but obviously different junglers do different things. Um, as like Wukong, I think you should be happy if you're playing against like a meta jungler to usually stay like around the same level. So just looking around here, where did you? This is your control ward, right? I hate how it doesn't tell me. You had 2. Yeah, this one's yours. Okay, yeah, that's not a
Yeah, I
bad
just dropped
place.
it.
Not a bad place. I can't tell if your sweeper's up. If it's up, I'd sweep this area right now. I don't think it's up because I think you
Yeah,
just bought it.
my ult is up. I lost vision over around
Oh
that
no,
corner.
I'm just saying like the sweeper because you want to sweep this
Oh,
area right
sweeper.
now. Sweeper,
Yeah.
so you can sweep all this. Because this pink ward's fine, as long as you sweep the rest of this area out. Because usually they'll take extra time to try to clear this pink ward out, so you get extra time to do the dragon. And it just gives good vision as well. What the hell? Okay, so Heimer just TP top. You should just go farm. You should just go farm your boss at jungle right now because um, you can pretty much assume that the rest of them are like either here or here, and it's too risky without having more knowledge to walk deeper in because your team is occupied with pushing mid. This guy just TP top, and this guy's stealing blue. Um, they can't do the dragon as long as you guys maintain mid pressure and you stay around bottom, even with Heimer TPing top because Fiora's top too. Unless they force Fiora to, unless Fiora just TPs down. In that case, you give up the dragon. But if Fiora TPs down, regardless of what you're doing, you probably have to give up the dragon. So in this case, you just be farming bottom here. You have all your camps up, and there's nothing else really to do. You can't be walking in here while your team is here. So you're just wasting time by doing this instead of farming this jungle. I understand you want to defend your pink ward, but you can't defend it in this case just because of where your team's positioned. So it's better to just be farming your jungle here. Like, yeah, you can't really do anything about that. You know, it sucks, but this is how it goes because Heimer TP top.
Still have another one in my inventory.
Yeah, that too. So just clear out your bot jungle here.
Oh, this is the one where it's like, oh, Diana's top.
Yeah, he's top, yes. Forfeited his right to the blue buff.
Got there anyway.
Yep, true. Very true. See, now, like, you don't get to clear these camps because you're probably going to be needed to fight for vision here or needed to protect Kog'Maw if they start shoving mid. So, like, this is just like an opportunity like you lost because, like, had you been farming this, you'd be level 11 right now for the fight instead of level 10. I'm assuming you leave here. Okay, you don't leave here. But, like, now it's like your presence is a bit more needed now because you could try to start a fight here, right? Because you guys are ahead. If you were there here, you could already you could try to start a fight. But now you're kind of farming while your team's trying to make a play. So if they get engaged on and you're not there, then it's really bad. Thankfully, thankfully it doesn't hurt too much because they're not really forcing or pressuring anything. But a lot of times, if you're inefficient, you'll find yourself farming and your team will start a terrible fight while you're not there in a lane for like no reason. Like you just got caught like for no reason. It happens very often. So you want to make sure you're efficient with your time so you can keep your camps down and be with your team as much as possible. So if they try to do stupid shit, you can try to bail them out.
Pretty sure I start running here. I'm kind of on to. No, I think I might spot Gragas when I start running.
Okay. Ooh, little late on the decoy. You don't actually block the body slam. Good juke on the bubble, and you get out. Okay. Yeah, as soon as you see Gragas, I would just usually just preemptive decoy because he actually body slams you anyway because of how huge the AOE for that spell is. It's pretty cool.
I spam my Hunter's Potion. I think I get somewhat healthy for this. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a Soraka too.
Yep. So it's a 4v4 here. Diana just got soloed by the Fiora.
Yeah. I don't have ult, so I just try and rush the dragon.
Yeah, your team does a good job of pushing them off with poke, and you can secure the dragon. Good. So now you should just how much gold do you have? You have enough for Cleaver, I believe. So there's not much point in sticking around here. You have 1500. I'm pretty sure the combined with the items you have is 1350.
I think so, yeah.
1350. Like yeah, because it's 950 to combine from the components, and you have the Fade. You're missing Kindle Gems. Yeah, 1350. You definitely have enough right now. You could just go back. The only thing you might be saving for is tier 2 boots, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but you have a lot of your camps up. Like, and you have the Cleaver. You might as well just back here. If you really want tier 2 boots, you can sell Hunter's Potion for it at this point. It's not super useful anymore. Okay. Grab your Cleaver here. Good. You have enough for no magic if you want Treads, Cloth Armor if you want Tabi, and a control word afterwards. What do you buy here? I guess you're deciding what boots you want.
Yep.
Okay, so make Treads. It's alright.
I didn't have enough for control ward, I don't think.
You did.
Did I?
Just barely though. Yep. Just barely, but you had just enough. I don't think your controller is placed right now. Actually, that might be yours. I think that's yours.
Yeah,
actually.
that was mine.
Okay, so yeah, definitely would have wanted another one to replace right here. Okay, so they get a pick on Fiora. So when your team gets a pick, in the mid game. Like I'd say like around when Baron spawns or like 18 minutes to when Baron spawns and like past before late game.
Hmm.
As soon as your team gets a pick, you want to be supporting someone who's pushing in a lane because they're gonna have to respond. Either you go
Yeah.
to the lane where like someone's split pushing, and when that one person comes to stop them, you gank them and you dive them, easy kill, or you go to the lane where everyone is congregating, and if you feel like they're gonna get engaged on, and you're there to counter the engage. But when you get a pick, you don't want to be farming. You have all the other time to be farming. Um, just when you get a pick, you gotta make use of it however possible. And sometimes with the pick, you just sweep Baron like this and you pressure it. No, that's fine too. But just make sure you're doing something other than farming when you get a pick.
Hmm.
So yeah, and you not having a control ward kind of sucks here because you could have just control warded the Baron and then swept everything else. But now you're getting spotted here, and you don't really have a way to clear it, which is a bit unfortunate. Okay. So your team is looking to siege mid. There's one guy top that you see. This is
I'm just
fine.
kind of waiting to like counter engage because Wukong contributes absolutely nothing to a tower siege.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's why I like having the controls and the sweeper so important, because you're not sure if you're spotted right now, which is a pretty big deal. You're just zoning him off here. Your team should have a chance to hit turret here, but they're pussies. Okay, now Kog'Maw's hitting it. Okay, close with your team here, that's good. Gragas flashes in. Tanya's.
Yeah, I get like instantly deleted here.
Yeah.
Just like gone. So after that, that's when I decided I need a GA. So I think that's what I buy next after I finish my boots.
Okay, so there's not much to talk about in this fight because you gotta just get blown up. But
Yeah,
so
I got straight up deleted.
so like I told the other dude when I coached yesterday, when you team fight, there's gonna be three things to look out for because obviously you're not gonna have someone look over every single team fight you ever do. Every team fight plays out a bit differently. So there's three rules of thumb you should look out for when you team fight. There's three ways team fights will usually play out. One, if someone on your team is strong, that isn't you, you play for them. Whether that's body blocking skill shots for them and frontlining for them, or whether it's peeling for them if you have CC, or just helping burst down whoever goes straight onto them, or bursting down whoever they're hitting so they can move on to the next target as fast as possible. Whatever. That's one style team fight. You see one guy on your team is really strong, and you play to make sure when they team fight, they can do whatever the fuck they want to carry the team fight. Two is you're really fed. This is the seedless one. You just play for yourself. You play in a way that you will impact the fight as much as possible, whether that's with damage or whether that's with like staying alive in the back and just like waiting for an enchant to go in, or just frontline taking everyone. Playing for yourself. If you're the only one who's fed, you're the only chance your team has to win a team fight. That's the second one. And three is someone on their team is the problem, and you need to just make sure they don't get to carry the team fight, and whether that's you just dive on them immediately, or you zone them off in a fight, like you just hover so they can't go into a fight safely, or you just run straight at them and blow them up if you're an assassin, whatever it takes. You just make sure that guy does not have a good time in a team fight and he doesn't get to do what he wants. Pretty much every team fight can be summed up to one of those three. And in team fighting is like the hardest skill to learn in League. Like there's so many variables. There's nothing with as many variables in it in League as team fighting does. There's so much you have to take into account. It's like almost impossible to take into account everything on the fly, like as the game like goes. Even like obviously like pro players struggle with team fighting. But if you identify which one of those three scenarios fits the best, and before a team fight starts, you visualize in your head, like already what you should be doing. Like okay, in this game, like Heimerdinger and Kog'Maw are pretty strong. Diana's decently strong too. So you're looking out for if they dive on Heimerdinger, then I'm gonna be like the Gragas and the Fiora. As soon as they go in, they dive on Heimerdinger. I should be ready to peel them off with my ult. Or like if Diana gets immediately onto the back line, then you'd be like, oh, I go with him because he's strong too, and I just immediately go for the back line. Those would be like the two cues that you should be looking for in your head when you go in. Because when you go in here, it doesn't seem like you have like a great like idea of like what to do here. You kind of just go in, you just try to ult people, right? You're not really looking out for
Yeah,
anything.
it's
Because, like,
four clumped.
yeah, like, sometimes that's fine, but, like, look at this team fight, right? These two are about to get tidal wave. This guy's in Zanyas. This guy's off in Mexico. He's not gonna make it to this fight to impact you when you go in here. So, like, because you're not 100% sure about, like, what your job really is in this fight, it seems, you kind of just
Hmm.
go in, you just get blown up. And it's without really buying your team anything, because, like, they're gonna get hit by this tidal wave for sure, right? So they're gonna be out of commission for a little bit. This guy's definitely out of commission because he's fucking Zanya's, and this guy's so far. He's not going to be able to follow up if you go in right here. But that's what you do anyway. So, like, these guys are... This guy's stuck on a miasma, just got tidal waved, he's slow as hell. This guy just got stunned at the same time as you, and this guy still isn't even ready to contribute to the fight. But this is when you go in. Had you just backed up instead, and waited for them to get out of the CC, and waited for this guy to come in from the side and get the flank off, this fight would have gone a lot better. Because if you're CCing people as this dude is in a position to deal damage, then like your sacrifice will actually mean something. Just because of the nature of your team comp, you're gonna die in these fights. You know, sorry if you're a KDA player, but you're dead. Like
No, I don't
there's no
care.
saving you in these
You
fights.
you can't
Yeah,
play a diver and
yeah,
be a KDA warrior at the same time.
yeah. Like you have to just accept you're gonna die in these fights, but that doesn't mean like, oh, I just go in and I die and I hope my team like cleans up. No, you have to make sure when you dive in and you start putting down your damage and your crowd control, you do it in a way that your team can actually benefit from it. And in this case, your team can't benefit from it because this guy can't walk forward through the miasma. That's just asking him to die. And obviously, Soraka just needs to stay in the back, and that means your other, like, you need to rely on your other two damage dealers in this case, but this guy just came out of Azania, he's probably going to get CC'd, and he does, and this guy still isn't ready to follow up when you go in here, so you kind of just die for free here. Like, your team isn't really in a position to really help you out there, you know? Just because you guys are a bit ahead, and they play it decently well, you know, Soraka doesn't get hit,
We're,
this
we're
fight,
kind of like pretty much even at this point, aren't we? I mean, we have two
um,
towers on them, I guess.
you have a gold lead, and you have a better team fight comp on paper. Um, but like yeah, this fight goes okay, but had you played it out like more cleanly, it could have gone a lot better. When you go in, you want to be watching your team like very closely. When you go in as a tank or just anyone who's got like crowd control that your team can follow up on, you want
Hmm.
to make sure you know where your teammates are before you go in because if they're not in a position to follow up, then there's no point in going in. You should just keep cutting back. Um, don't just go in because you're like, oh, I see four of them, time to go. Like that's not a good way to look at it. You know, if your team's in a position to follow up, then yeah, that's fine. But if your team isn't ready to follow up, you just kill yourself, like you saw in this case, right?
Hmm.
So make sure you're watching your team and as well as the other team when you decide when to go in, because that's just as important. Okay, so you buy your merc treads here. I'll just fast forward until you're alive. Okay, you're alive already, and you go farm boss side jungle here, which is fine because they don't really have.
Cogmal wants the blue. I'm like, God damn it.
Uh,
I don't really need it at this point. I don't
yeah,
really care.
that's true.
I'm because I take 7.5% CDR in my runes. I'm
Yeah.
like 37.5% CDR. I don't really have mana issues
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay. So yeah, I'd actually run. Are you just running all CDR blues? Just like
Yeah.
I would just run 5% and then get 5% scaling. I think that's better if you have the IP for those runes. So you hit the clean 40.
Yeah. I can buy anything. I have every champion, 20 rune pages, and like
Yeah.
30,000 IP.
Yeah, I think that's what most people do. Just 5 flat and then the 5 scaling, so you hit the clean 40. I think that's a bit better.
Pretty sure I already have a set of scaling CDRs.
Yep, nice. Okay, so I don't agree with the scuttle take because it's not gonna be up for the dragon. It lasts 90 seconds. It won't actually be up for the dragon, and you have all these camps to farm still, and
Mhm.
you really want to keep getting items at this point because you're not really tanky yet. So getting as much gold flow as whenever possible is really important, and this is a rare point in the mid game where you can be farming these camps because you'll still be on the side of Baron pressure, and your top laner is like top for some reason. He should be bottom at this point, but he's top too, so like you'll be
People don't
close to
do
the
that at
fight
the CL.
starts.
Like, almost never will like a top laner clear a tower and then go bottom. That
Okay,
doesn't happen. Like, period.
yeah.
At the CLO.
And the other thing that's gonna let you farm is the fact that your mid laner just had to go back too. So if you're not sure whether you can farm, a good way to tell, like one of the easiest cues is like if someone is just gone back or is about to go back, then you're safe to farm because you shouldn't be making a play anyway while they're back. So if you're not sure like when you have a chances to farm in like the mid late game, that's like a really easy thing to look out for. If you're not sure. So if you're gonna camp this bush, just put your control ward in this bush instead of this one. Because like it's really important that you don't get spotted on your engages.
I was just waiting to counter engage, I think, at that point.
Yeah, but still, even if you're looking to counter engage, like you want to make sure you're not spotted. So just use your control word to ensure you're not spotted. It's very important. So there's a huge wave bottom that someone should be catching. I'm not actually sure where you guys are A-ramming at the moment, but
I'm pinging it right now.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter who gets it.
There and then
Yeah.
I back ping them.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go clear that.
It doesn't really matter who gets it. Ideally, it'd be Heimerdinger because he has TP, but if it's already hitting the turret, someone needs to just go get it.
Yeah, I don't know why Heimer follows me down.
Setting up Dragon, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So, once you see this, you should be backpinging your team immediately.
Oh, I did, but, you know.
You gotta backping.
Cogmaul, you
Yep,
need
yeah.
the front line is Cogmaul, don't you know?
You gotta backping a bit more than that, though. If he still dies, he dies, but, like, should be, like, you should be using up all of your available pings every single time. There's a chance someone might get caught and you're not there. It's very, like, hopefully people get the memo eventually, you know? I understand some people will just never understand, but, you know, you want to at least give yourself the best chance of making sure they get it. So, you probably shouldn't look for a fight here with Cog. There's a possible chance, but, it's not a great chance if you win a fight here. So they're starting it. You have vision of it. Okay, good pick on Anami at the start.
No.
Yeah. Just kite backwards here until Cog arrives. That guy's 100% dead. Good. You still have your ultimate for the re-engage once Cog is here. Once again, you kind of jump the gun. There's no one to follow up on your shit there. I'll play the fight back in slow motion after. I just like to watch every fight in real time first. Ends up going okay. That guy dies off onto the side. Probably chase down Kate, path around the trap. Nice. Are you running Fervor? Or
Thunderlords.
Thunderlord? Okay, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, and she
Blocks your Q, yeah.
Yeah, she blocks my auto NQ.
Yeah. No flash. Okay, so wow, this is a long ass fight.
Yeah.
Let's Okay, so half speed. This is a great pick. This is exactly what you guys needed.
Yeah.
At the start here.
I knew me and Diana could just instantly delete
Good.
Nami.
Good, turn away from Cassio immediately, decoy out. That guy's dead. Good that you don't try to save him. He's super dead. No point in even trying. You hold on to your ultimate. So the first part of this fight is great. You know, you do exactly what you need to do. You disengage because you're still in F-Kogma, and you don't waste your stuff up until you get greedy here. So I understand. You see multiple people, you're like, boom, big ult, right? But the same thing as last time. This guy can't help you. He's getting murdered. There's no way he can help you and follow up. This guy is still too far, and this guy doesn't do damage. And if he tries to heal you, he puts himself in real danger here. So, going in here and wasting your ult is really, like, once again, like, not the play. You don't have any follow up, right? And you can't just like ult them. You're not invincible when you ult. So, you can't really go for the play here. So obviously you realize it, which is good at least. But what's important is you realize it before you expend your ultimate cooldown, right? So you flash out, so you live here to win the rest of this fight because they end up face checking into the Kog'Maw, and you turn with Soraka safe in the back and just blow up Cassio, who steps too far forward. So the rest of this fight is fine. It's just, if you had your ultimate, it would have been a clean ace, you know, because you would have just been able to finish off Fiora. You wouldn't have had to chase Caitlyn as far, you know. And yeah, the ultimate was kind of wasted, but aside from that, the fight was clean. You weave in and out pretty well. You don't overcommit to kill yourself when Diana is dead and is forced to Zanya's, and yeah, the rest of the fight is fine. So yeah, not a bad fight. It's just the ultimate could have been a lot better, but aside from that, good fight.
I'm not even sure if we kill Fuhrer if I just take Dragon. I'm like, oh, I feel
Probably
like
not
chasing
worth
Fuhrer
it.
around the map. Maybe? No?
Oh, okay. Well, he just.
Oh.
Oh boy. He just killed himself by walking onto the silence.
Yeah.
You probably can chase this dude down. He is up. Okay, once he exhausts back
Yeah,
up,
I got
good.
exhausted. I walked away.
Good job. Don't overcommit because the rest of them are spawning. This dragon's a little sketch, but Heimer calls it, so you kind of just have to go with the call here. It's not the worst call in the world. You do it pretty fast with Heimer. Gragas could have tried to steal it if he went there immediately, but he doesn't really want to because Fiora is dead and you secure the dragon. How much gold do you have? 2293, 2400 for GA, so do one more camp and recall. That's fine. Oh no.
No.
Okay,
I actually,
okay,
that's
good.
exactly what I did.
Good.
I'm like, how much gold?
Yeah.
Need one more camp.
Yeah, one more camp, good. So, you can sell your Hunter's Pot at this point for control wards, so you don't need to do an extra camp. And you don't want to do an extra camp either, because you want to be over to that side of the map ASAP. So I got your GA now. Pretty good. I think this build is fine. You should wait for a control ward at this point, because having control wards for Baron is... Okay, so at this point, you know, like the next objective is going to be Baron, right? You know, you got this inner's almost dead. This one's like half, no dragon. All the outers already. You know, the next course of action is going to be Baron, because you guys can't really siege against Caitlyn, Cassiopeia, Gragas. Like, this is no way. You know, there's too many traps, there's too much wave clear. So your best bet is to try to pick them off at Baron, and you have a lot of pick. You know, you got Heimer turrets, you got Diana, and you pick off people really easily. Your best course of action is to bait Baron, so you really need a control ward to do that. So whenever it's at this point, there's no excuse for not having control ward. Like, you sell your Hunter's Pot for it, it's way more worth it. It's way more important than your Hunter's Pot at this point.
Okay.
Yep. So Diana's getting caught after getting a pick here. You guys should be able to save her. Good redemption. Great ultimate from Gragas. Yeah. So once again here, you're not with your team, so you kind of just die for free.
Well, I lose my GA for free.
Yeah, I lose your GA for free, which is obviously not ideal. You just gotta play with your team more in these team fights. You're kind of like too hasty, you know. If you're playing Assassin Wukong, the Assassin Wukong build with like lethality and stuff, and like Tiamat and like Ravenous Hydra.
I do that sometimes.
Then
this game though.
Then you play that way and you just go straight for the back line, but that's not really what you're playing. So you gotta play with your team more. Like you build your style you're playing does not play the way you're playing. You don't just go for the assassin. You know, you can when they're alone, like you got Nami here earlier, but for the most part you're a front line for the team to do damage. You're not trying to just like kill their backline, and you need to identify that, because a lot of these fights you're just jumping the gun. You haven't gotten really a single good ultimate off yet. Okay, so your team's back in here, so you can just back two. You could greed for golems, but there's no real need. It won't buy you much of anything. Okay. So you just buy controls, that's good. Pick up two, they're pinging it, you guys see them on your ward. So
I'm pinging them, spam pinging them right now.
Yeah, not a big deal. What is this guy doing? Okay.
Waiting for his team, I guess.
Okay, so now they see your ward, put your first control in, that's good. Okay, wait until they kill your control to hit the plant, so you maintain vision on it as long as possible. Okay, now they're off. But yeah. It's good to keep that plant up until you need it, because it's true sight. Like, obviously they can't deny you from hitting the plant. They can kill your wards, they can't deny that plant, so keeping up as the last resort is really nice if you need vision. Hit. Just playing with your team here, that's fine. You want to try to find a place to put your next control ward, either like here or like here, so you can set up for the counter engage or an engage of your own. Like, you don't really have a good angle to go in from here.
Yeah.
Probably on this side, because your team is closer to this side. But yeah, like I said, you guys don't really siege. Like, you're getting absolutely nothing done right now.
At this point, I think within like the next 30 minutes or like, or not 30 minutes, 30 seconds or so, I like ping the side lanes and type to my team we can't siege without side wave pressure.
Okay, yeah.
Can you see
So
chat in op.gg
you
replays?
can see all chat. You can't see team chat.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually typing. I'm like, you need to
Oh, I don't see it because
sideways
I don't
press.
turn on all chat in League of Legends in general. But you can see it. Okay. Well, let's watch this fight. Oh, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's watch this fight. There's not that much to it. I'm reading her once again with CP. So this fight starts pretty awkwardly. Okay, so Kog'Maw is dead. That's
Yeah.
from what we can gather from this situation. This guy is definitely dead. There's not really too much point in even trying to help him at this case.
Trying to like, trying to get
Yeah.
Fiora off,
Yeah.
like
So
flashes away from my ult and then repost it when I get on top of her.
yeah, in this case, because Kog'Maw isn't even the strongest guy on your team, there's no need to try to peel for him that heavily. You know, especially because he compromised himself so hard in the beginning. Like this is a fight where it's actually okay for you to go in like this because Diana will be able to follow up on you immediately if you get a good knockup. But instead, you try to peel for Cog, which really isn't worth it in this case because one, it's super fucking easy for him to repost your ultimate, and he does. And two, Kog'Maw isn't even your only way to win a fight, you know? You can definitely win a fight by just diving in and setting up Diana to just one-shot their backline with you. And just leave Heimer and Cog to try to kill the Fiora. If Heimer and Cog can't kill the Fiora, then the fight is probably fucked anyway. And in this case, Kog'Maw was so out of position that he ends up dying anyway, not even to, like, Fiora. Even after you guys try to peel. So that's about it for this fight. There's really not much more to it. Kog'Maw just kind of gets himself in a bad position and you can't really save him. But you try to, which is the misplay here. So Heimer
The only
TP's
really thing
top.
about Wukong's ult is it's like a really old champion and has like a really dated kit.
Yeah.
His ult only ticks once per
Like it
second.
yeah, it doesn't tick as
So
fast.
someone can be in your ult for like almost an entire second and not get knocked up. It's
Yeah.
really annoying.
Okay, so you're just getting blasted by the fun champion that is Caitlyn. Not really much you can do here. Pop your 100 spots as you recall. Yeah. You should pop your 100 spots as you recall. It doesn't cancel your recall. So you heal a little bit faster.
Forget what I get here. Control awards.
Yeah, you didn't really
I
have
don't
money
think I
for
had
anything.
any. I don't really have any gold, so.
You have enough to sell a refill to buy a health crystal, and at this point, I think it's worth, like, I don't know, maybe for, like, Sterix or whatever, anything at this point. But, like, you're holding on your 100 potion for too long. It doesn't really need to be in your inventory as long as this. It's really not that useful.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so he goes in here. You're ready to help him.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. I think I just died here for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fiora's really strong at this point, yeah. Definitely not. Yeah, he already got the pick, so he's... Yeah, usually when Diana goes in for like that, she has no way to get out, so unless you can kill whoever's around there, don't even bother. She doesn't have an escape, so just... If she goes in like that, you have to just kind of leave her. She doesn't really have a good way to get out. Obviously, she could just Zanya flash, but... You know, if she Zanya flashes, you know, like... That's independent of what you do, you know? Like, if she's on your flashes to get out, she's on your flashes. You know, you being there doesn't change the fact that she can on your flash away, right? So, like, unless you can actually kill the people that are there with her, don't bother going in to try to save her. And that's the same thing with a lot of champs, you know? Once they go in, like, unless you can kill the people who are going to trade kill them, don't even bother. Especially as a jungler, because you dying means this happens.
Now, I sold my Hunter's Potion and picked up a Executioners at this point.
For Fiora, okay, I guess. Normally ask your AD carry to buy it, but
Well, it's a lot easier for me because I literally spin the stacks onto their entire team.
yeah, I mean the problem, it's not about the stack application, it's more that like it's not a great item on you to go like Mortal Reminder, like complete it. Like it's kind of like
I don't think I do complete it. I think it just
Yeah.
sits in my inventory.
Yeah, like it's not the worst thing, but it's kind of slot inefficient because now if you want to buy another real item, like you're gonna have to sell your control word slots. So it's not the worst buy in the world because you do kind of need it for set team, but generally just ask your AD carry to buy it, even if you can't apply it to like everyone, like um, as easily as you can. Um, the slot efficiency of you is just so bad because Mortal Reminder is a terrible item on you once you like um, if you have Cleaver already. It's just not very efficient, especially when you don't have that much AD. You don't have any lethality either. You don't really like burst people like that
My
hard.
Q's a 30% armor shred
30%
too.
armor shred too, yeah. So it's just like it's too much percent shred that it's just not super efficient. Especially because there's only one guy on this team who's like actually like a tank, and he doesn't even have that much armor. Like you're not really shredding that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so grabbing farm here, getting close to 16.
That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get 16.
A little dangerous to be on the side of the map right now. Like two of you were off the side. If there was any wards, they might have pressured Baron really hard, but you guys have at least okay pressure around there, so not the worst decision in the world. Yep.
And
Looking for an engage here. Really greedy to go back here. Like once again, no follow up at all. Cutting back away at least so you don't instantly die, but like yeah, like your gauges are so staggered, right? If you guys ever go in at the same time, you're just gonna wipe them. But you guys have only done that like once this whole game.
well, it's like a low gold game.
Yeah.
So.
But like it's easier for
Not
you.
bad.
It's easier for him to follow up to you. You know, as
Yeah.
if you get a good ultimate. You know, you always want to make sure it's easier for your teammates if possible. So you guys should really just go pressure Baron here. There's like
that's
you,
my opinion.
yeah. You guys don't.
I'm trying to like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to like lead. It's like always like a struggle. You gotta like,
Yeah.
you ping Baron and then like they'll walk mid and clear the wave, and you're
Yeah.
still and you want to go over to make sure they don't get deleted,
Yeah.
and you're still pinging Baron. It's a real struggle. Like people don't like
No.
following calls like that,
Yeah,
especially
like-
low yellow.
It's so useless for you guys to ever be mid at this point. This tower's been low for like 10 years,
Yeah,
but
I
you
know.
can't even walk up and hit it. Like, you guys just need to decisively go to the Baron and just bait it.
Yeah.
I understand it's a bit difficult, but that's what you guys need to
Almost
do.
back up if it's not back up already.
Okay, so it looks like you guys finally drew them in enough that you
Yeah.
get the inside track to finally get this turret. But oh my lord, this turret, you guys are trying to get this turret for like 15 minutes. Like I'm not even exaggerating. It's so.
You could have had it like 10
Yeah.
minutes ago, so an auto attacked it like once.
Okay, so you just go up here, finish the turret. Oh boy. Just back up, just kite back, just kite back, just kite back. Oh no. Okay. Just run out here. That fight was doomed from the start. Let's watch it. But this fight was pretty doomed from the start. This Gragas hits a nasty body slam. Okay, so you guys are chilling, hitting the turret. Oh. You guys get quite a bit of damage on the supporting engages. Okay, so
Cogmall stops at the auto
yeah,
attack.
Kog'Maw gets demolished. The only reason he lives more than half a second is because of Soraka. You get bubbled here, and right from here, as soon as you get out of this bubble, you should be looking and be like, yo, this fight is fucked. Or like, well, you should go on Caitlyn immediately. But like this fight is pretty hard to win at this case, because this guy's 100% dead. These guys are healthy. Soraka has already expended a lot of her cooldowns. Heimerdinger's not a great team fighter. He's only got one turret set up. You can go on Caitlyn here. I think it's fine to go on Caitlyn here. You should have gone immediately, though. You end up getting him anyway. If you got him immediately, he wouldn't have even made it to flashover. You wouldn't have it to flashover. And then maybe you could have saved Kog'Maw, but it's still kind of a stretch.
We had nothing to deal with Fuhrer at that point.
Yeah. That's basically why this fight was like so fucked though, because you didn't have anything to do with Fiora anymore. Once that fight started, as poorly as it did. So yeah, that's not much else to say about this fight. You could have gone Caitlyn faster, but as soon as you guys let yourself get engaged on by that, by Gragas, the fight was pretty dope. The fight was pretty over. So they're gonna run up mid here, just recall. No real point pushing top. You won't really get the turret. You won't get to the turret fast enough. giant spell. I'm assuming that's Deadman's Plate?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Probably getting HP components first in Wukong, 'cause I guess
Yeah, the passive, yeah.
yeah.
Just clearing out stuff here. You got the bot turret, your toss again. Just go right to the Baron, right to the Baron, right to the Baron. As soon as everyone spawns, you get all this side lane pressure. They're gonna have to send someone else too. Like Nami can't hold that by herself. Just clear this and just ping Baron, ping Baron, ping Baron.
Yeah. I like how you can see the pings and stuff in the op.gg.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, I don't think you can in the league replay.
Yeah, I don't know. If you ever watch a Korean replay, I think their pings per minute it's off the charts. It's ridiculous how much they ping because it's really good. Okay, so starting the Baron, you should tank it. It's more important. Your damage gets reduced over Diana's. Good smite. Just turn immediately. This should be game. This is a really good fight.
Yeah, I was dead. You died. Right?
Okay.
I think I chased down Cat. No.
Okay, so this is the last team fight of the game. Let's analyze this. So, let's analyze why this team fight goes so much better compared to the others. Oh, this guy has so much health. Jesus. What did he build? Warmogs? Yep, Warmogs. Okay. Well, let me speed up the killing of the Baron a bit, because they don't even make it in. I think Heimer is zoning Gragas. Yeah. Rylai's turrets. That's so troll. Can't even body slam because of all the turrets in the way. Right, so he gets just demolished at the start. Heimerdinger just destroys everyone. You go straight onto the back line here. Your team's finally ready to follow up. Okay, so here is where you go too deep here. There's no need to chase this guy, right? Because who's he peeling for here? No one, right? Because this guy's dead. He's dead.
I think I turn around.
He's got to come up for G. Yeah, I know you turn around, but you need to turn around faster than you do here. There's no point in chasing past the Caitlyn because you're not going to get to this guy. You've already used all your gap closers on Caitlyn, right? So you need to make sure the rest of the other side of the fight, it does go well because Gragas just gets melted by the Heimer and he dies without putting any frontline pressure onto Cog. But like you need to turn ASAP because this guy's dead. Diana is going to kill this guy or he's going to be too low to come up to fight. Because, like, and even if he does get up and he doesn't die, he can't do anything if these two are dead. So, it's more important that you make sure you win this side of the fight after you get his GA. Because, like, if he wants to walk back in, like, he can't walk back in if these guys are dead. It's more important, or these guys are unable to fight. Like, he can't go in himself because Gragas is dead, and Nami can't peel enough with the rest against the rest of you to get him back into the fight. So, you turn, but it's, like, it's too late. Like, at this point, like, you've already left your team to their own devices on that side of the fight, and they win it, right? So it's fine, but like in a closer fight where they play it better, or like maybe Kog'Maw doesn't get to free hit as much, it could be really scary if you're not there to help your team on this left side of the fight. That's what I'm saying. So, but that should be the game. Aside from that,
yeah, tell them to just tank the turret and I'll push the lane.
Yep. And yeah, this should just be. I'm pretty sure you guys just end right here. They FF. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they
I
FF.
don't think they or I think they respawned once and then they died walking in solo and the game was over.
The replay ends here though, so I can't see anything else.
That's
So early game. Early game's okay. There's this one big. Can I move here or do I have to hit this? Fuck. Okay, I have to reopen the replay. So the early game, some of your pathing was a bit inefficient, like that thing with the red buff, where I told you you just recall there, grab the golems, and eat the red buff instead, like coming after it back. Hunter's Potion, after seeing how you clear, I guess you probably do need it. There was that one situation you missed where you were like half HP or something, and there was a HP plant in the bottom side and the scuttler. You need to really look out for those, especially because you saw Gragas top at that case too. Really, 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 really look out for those HP plants, because HP plant plus scuttle, that's so much health restored. You know that can save you like a back, like if you pay attention to when they spawn. Those are really, really important to look out for, especially when you're playing a jungler that doesn't have great sustain. Your early game was okay. There wasn't too much to do. As far as gank-wise goes, you didn't really have good setup in any of your lanes. but you
Yeah.
need to watch out more for dive opportunities. There were a lot of dive opportunities that you either didn't see or just passed up. You could have broken first blood turret a lot faster than you did with how hard your Heimer was winning and like just how easy it is for you guys to kill Cassiopeia once Diana was 6. You could have broken first turret and opened up the map view for yourself like a lot quicker than you did. That's the big gripe in your early game. Your pathing was okay, like you just did a standard path. Your build was fine, nothing really to complain about there. Your team fighting leaves a lot to be desired, but those 3 things I told you about, you want me to repeat them real quick? Or you
No,
think,
that's fine. Yeah, I
okay,
got it.
like those 3 things, make sure you just look out for those 3 things. Those things help your team fight so much easier. Like just understanding which one of those 3 to apply and just doing it in a fight. So much simpler. So make sure you do that, and the team fighting will improve a lot. There's a pretty heavy team fight game, so like that took up a lot of the analysis. When when you're in a situation where you know, like it seemed like you understood that you guys were doing jack all mid, like for like 15 minutes, spam your pings and type a bunch, you know.
That's what I was doing.
Sometimes you'll have those games where you go 10-0 and the game is free. They FF20, you get so fed, you just break everything, you never have to group up and do anything as a team because you just roll over lanes. You know, those games are great, but that's not gonna happen most of the time if you're playing in an elo that you like that's around your skill level. So you have
The
to
problem I have is like I want to go clear side waves and stuff, but like I spam ping them and tell them I'm going to clear a side wave, and then Cogmal. I go to clear one side wave, Cogmal dies instantly, and like Wukong is so much of like normally he's a big part of like the team
team
fight
fight. Yeah.
composition on a team. Like I feel like
Sometimes okay, so I'll explain it this way. Because I run into this sometimes too. Um, in solo queue, sometimes the right play isn't always the best play to make. You know, I understand, like, yeah, you want to go get the sideways, and you know, if we're playing strictly properly, you always go get the sideways because like it's just inefficient to not get the sideways. But it's like you need to gauge with your team, like just based on like how they're playing. You know, if they're like really aggressive or they're really like responsive to your pings. Depending on the game, like you have to judge yourself. Um, what the chances are that they'll start a terrible fight or get caught if you go to the side wave, you know?
mhm,
Sometimes, like, and it also depends on how strong you are, you know? If you're already, like, strong and you don't really need the side wave as much, sometimes you just bite the bullet and you leave it so you can be there to help prevent your team from minting, okay? Sometimes
mhm.
you just got to. You don't really have a choice. Um, but it will go game by game. You know, if you're behind and you think you'll probably need that farm to carry, then you know sometimes you just have to hope they don't die and you go get the sideways. But if you are strong already and you don't really need it, then like more often than not, you should just try to be with the team to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I
So what do you
understand the
do in that
frustration.
situation? Like I typed it like 6 times that we needed to clear our side wave, and nobody goes to clear the side waves. No matter how many times I ping, no matter how many times I type it, like they just don't care. They want to ARAM, and everyone just funnels in mid. And we have like all the side waves pushing in on us, and I can't leave or else people instantly die.
I mean, you just have to make a decision. You know, sometimes if like your team won't lose too much off of it, then you just go get the side rave if you feel like you need it to carry. It's really just game by game thing. You know, sometimes I'll see it and I'm already fed and I just know I'll just try to start a fight or something because I don't think I need it. And sometimes I feel like what's it called? Sometimes I feel like I do need it and I'll just take that risk. You know, even if they've like been showing that they're pretty incompetent. You know, if I feel like I really need it, then you know you don't have a choice. Sometimes you just have to do it. You know, but as far as going back to my original point, like if you want to win in solo queue like consistently, like it will
Hmm.
help a lot to be very communicative with your team. You know, you're gonna have potatoes on your team who um get caught all the time, don't listen to your calls, and don't play properly. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like more often than not, communicating with your team often will you'll win more games than you lose. It's super frustrating when you do lose because especially when it's like you make all these calls and then they don't listen to you and then that's why you lose. It's super frustrating. Believe me, I understand it. But if your best interest is to just climb, like you're just gonna have to try to accept like sometimes even when you make every call, you play properly, you make the correct play, it's gonna happen, and you just gotta not let it affect your next game. And
So
sometimes that's the reality of it.
how selfishly do you want to play? Because like I want to
It really depends on
like
how your team is doing.
so I
If
don't want to tilt my team. So it's like Diane, all right, you can have the blue, and then like I want to go clear the side waves, or like Cog's back in base, and I'll leave the wave for him or whatever. Because people don't like understand at the CLO. Like instead of like pushing the wave into tower and having it bounce back, they'll just rage at you for taking their farm, and it's
I
like,
mean, you
well,
just
no,
mute them and you
I'm
play.
bouncing it into their tower.
You meet them and you play. Like if people like, there's always got to be people like that. You just can't let it bother you. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. There's not much you can do about it. You just mute them and
Yeah.
play. There's nothing you can do about it. Like you're not gonna change someone's mindset in the course of a game. You can't teach someone how to play League of Legends during your game. You just take what you get. You just take what they give you and you play. There's not much else you can say about it. Sometimes I'll get those games too where I have a guy on my team who's clearly been boosted to Diamond 1 or Master and it sucks dick that he goes 0-15 and the next game I see him he goes 15-0, but like it's the reality of it. Sometimes you just don't get lucky and you just gotta move on. There's no point. Like the worst thing you can do is have a bad game like that and the next game you go into it tilted and then you lose that too for your team and suddenly you've become that guy. That's the last
Yeah.
thing you want to do. So it's tough. It's very tough sometimes, especially when you get 2 or 3 of those guys in a row. But like, not much you can do about it. You just gotta try to move on. There's not much I could say about that. Like I can't teach everyone in your team how to play League of Legends. Like
Yeah.
you just gotta. You're the consistent factor in your games. Best you can do is make smart plays, communicate with your team, ping a lot, and hope you do enough to carry. And as far as like how selfish you play, it really depends on how the game's going. If your team's already like if your team's winning lanes, like you don't need to do anything selfish. You just support them. You help them break turrets. You ward up. You call out the enemy jungler's position and stuff, and you just play like that. But sometimes if everyone's falling behind and everyone's raging at each other, you hit that great slash ignore all command and you just play selfishly and you try to carry the game because otherwise like if everyone's already losing to that point then you're just gonna lose anyway. You might as well give yourself the chance to carry it. And if they want to flame you, don't worry, you won't be hearing it because you ignored them all. And it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like you're never going to see most of the time in that elo, you're never going to see those people again. You're gonna see them one time.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck what they say to you? Who gives a fuck what they think of you? It doesn't really matter. You're trying to win. If you're playing and you're trying to win, then what other people think of you shouldn't matter. There's no
Gotcha.
point in concerning yourself with that. So like in conclusion, like the biggest thing I took away from that game is just your team fighting seems really you don't seem like you have a great idea of what you want to do in these fights or like what your goal should be in these fights. So applying those 3 things will help you a lot. Like look out for more opportunities in the early game where you can't gank as much. Look for those dive opportunities. Make sure you're watching the lanes. Do you use F keys to look at lanes?
No, I just click on the mini map to check
Um,
lanes.
do you know what do you know of like the F keys?
Yeah, the F
Okay.
keys automatically
Yeah.
uh, lock your camera on your teammates.
Why don't you use them? Do you think it's just like too far for like your hands to stretch, or do you just like never got into the habit, or
Probably I never got into the habit, and I just click on the mini map and it does like the same thing, and I guess it's easier for me.
okay? Um, if
Just like
um if
click on
you
the mini map and then hit space to bring it back to me
okay.
once I'm done checking.
If you start using you should start using F keys. It's really helpful as a jungler. But if you feel like they're kind of unwieldy to hit, you could do what I do. I rebind them to Z, X, and C, so it's like very easy to hit. Like it's really close to where you normally will put your fingers on the keyboard. Like it's very accessible. When you watch me play, I can cycle through them so fast. Just because I move them. I hated them too when they were on F1, F2, F3. I thought that was way too far. Like my tiny hands couldn't stretch and hit them. But like when I moved them to ZX and C, like it's so much simpler. And a lot of people who I've coached and told them about that, it's helped them out a bunch too. So if you start doing that and you think it's a bit too difficult, that's something you can do to help yourself out. It's just more efficient than clicking to get into the habit of. So that's about it. Do you have any final questions before we wrap up?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. Thanks for supporting the stream, dude. I really appreciate you coming out every day. It means a lot.
Yeah, no
So,
problem.
yeah. I'll see you around, man.
See you.
All right. What happened to all you guys? I was reading like half of it, like during it. You guys were doing some. You guys were like hella game.